comic book ASM artist. Today we're going to be looking at this art book I picked up on my previous haul. It's Otomo, a global tribute to the mind behind Akira. So the first couple pages of this are just like a kind of introduction here. So the creator of Akira is this man right here, Katsuhiro Otomo, and I'm sure I butchered that, but this is his name right here. He is the mastermind behind the manga, which he even helped with the animated movie that so many of us are familiar with. So, and this just kind of gives a little bit of background and influence about his work here. And I'm going to just be turning the pages through all this here. I looked through this when I bought it, and the thing I noticed is that not everything in here harkens back to the movie. There are elements that reference the manga as well, and I personally have not read the manga, so those elements I will be unfamiliar with. But regardless, this is an impressive art book here, showcasing, I believe, 80 different artists' renditions of things from Akira. So my own personal experience with it, I was first exposed to Akira when I was, I believe, around 13 or so, 13 or 14. And it was a week actually before my father had passed away. He was in the hospital, and my oldest brother had we went to Blockbuster Video and we rented this. He had already seen it, so he was recommending for me to watch it. So while my dad was in critical condition in the hospital, which like I said later he passed away, we watched this movie, and I mean, I'll never forget it. It's such a jarring and just kind of, there's nothing else really like Akira. So I'll never forget it, or that experience. Kind of a bizarre movie to watch, especially with something like that going on in my life personally at that moment. But if anything, it only helped cement it for me, you know. So a lot of these artists too, I don't know the names and I can't pronounce the names of them. Most of the people in this book are a lot of international talents, and they go through what they've worked on as well as kind of some biography stuff, and then some of them they even have like their own personal stories with Akira as well. So of course I recommend, this video doesn't do the book justice. The pages are rather large, as you can see. This is my hand here, and I had to pull the camera out, which it's a tighter shot in, but I've got the scope wider so you can see the pages better here. But I definitely recommend picking this up if you are a fan of the manga or the movie. See, this is what I was talking about. They have his encounter with Otomo right here. Just kind of stories sharing. And I think some of them is just like what I shared with you all about when I watched the movie and stuff. Some of these guys may have had direct interactions with him as well. Of that, I'm unsure. So I know Olivia Copio. He's done work for Marvel and DC, so that's how I know him. But yeah, I actually just rewatched the movie before I filmed this video. holds up. And I think I've seen this artist's work here before, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, even watching the movie, as a much older individual, there were still things about it that were just very strange and odd, and didn't comprehend every bit of it. So it is an interesting film to watch. Hopefully I'll be getting like the complete collected version of the manga with the extra. I think it's the Akira Club art book in there. I didn't even know that this was a art book that existed. I literally saw this in the shelf. I guess this has been out for a couple years. I looked at the copyright inside of it, and I was surprised because this is the first I'd seen it. I had known about the other art book, but I hadn't seen this one before. So kind of unique and interesting. In my snap decision with it, my shop, they had it like kind of standing up on top of a shelf, and I went to like pick it up and look at it, and I couldn't stand the book back up, so I was like, well, I'm gonna take that as my sign to just go ahead and buy the book. So surprisingly, this was only a $30 art book. So not too bad. And then this is a tribute to like the actual manga covers or the graphic novel covers here. There was a risque image I had to skip over, so if you want to see that one, you'll have to buy the book. I try to keep the channel as all ages friendly as I can. It's the channel's not made for kids, but I don't put stuff like that in my videos, just as a rule of thumb. So yeah, let me know down below your run-in with Akira. Have you read the manga? Have you only watched the movie? Have you never seen or heard of this before? Let me know down below. I highly recommend it to anyone interested in manga or comics or art or anything. It's just it's a masterpiece. The film is R-rated. There's quite a bit of violence and a scene of nudity in there, so bear that in mind. Always like the creepy little kids and the other test subjects. And I always thought this one on the end looked like Louis Anderson. Especially his cartoon Life with Louis version, where he's a little kid. I like the clean lines on this one here. And there is just so many memorable things about the execution of the art with Akira, whether you're admiring the architecture, the bike here, the characters, the bizarre creative graphic violence that is presented in it, or just the weird story surrounding the whole thing. It really has something most people can find and appreciate. Sarah Pacelli, so this is another artist I'm familiar with from her Marvel work. Yeah, I would definitely say the most jarring thing is, towards the end when Tetsuo bloats up with, just can't control his power and, just turns into a huge, horrible, pulsing thing. I certainly was not prepared for that. And I think they probably used a bit of that to help them create the scene in Batman the Animated Series with Clayface doing his transformations in the, I guess the video room in the climax of the two-part Clayface origin. Here we go, here's Stan Sakai, the Yosaki Ojimbo creator. This is his piece here. Have to press down the book a little bit for these last few. The spine is not being very cooperative. Now this one seems really odd. I don't really know how it fits in this book. I'm not sure. This looks more like you would encounter it in a video game here. It's very cool. This almost looks like Master Roshi a tad bit. I don't know if that's the inspiration there. switch there at first. I think that's a box cutter, maybe. I'm not actually sure what he's holding. So here's a final note from Katsuhiro Otomo. Once created, a piece of art must stand on its own, apart from the artist. I've seen many pictures, which are still with me in the same way the pictures I've created must still be with those who saw them. My immense gratitude goes out to all those who took time out of their busy schedule to create these images. It's very cool. It is certainly something to leave behind, a legacy that generations upon generations can enjoy. So yeah, I believe 2017 this came out. I had no clue, like I said. Go try to find it if you're a fan of this stuff at all. Highly recommend it. The camera only does so much here. But let me know below which pictures you like the best. Timestamp it. Let me know why you liked the picture. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this thing out. And as always, you all have a super slumber. Thanks. Bye.